Anna, I think we got everything we need.
Yes! Let's go have some fun! This is nice. A perfect way to end the day.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Over Tea, Listen and Speak. I'm Anna.
And I'm Dan. We're so happy you're here with us today. If you're new, subscribe so you don't miss our daily episodes.
So, Dan, you look a little exhausted today. What have you been up to all morning? You walked in carrying a mountain of shopping bags.
Oh man, it's been a crazy morning. I woke up early because I realized we were totally out of coffee at the apartment, so I ran down to the local cafe to purchase a latte. Then I stopped by the farmer's market to purchase some fresh apples. After all that, I finally sat down at my desk to buy the new multi-million-dollar enterprise software system for our corporate office.
Wait, pause right there. Did you hear what you just said?
What, that I'm incredibly productive before 9 a.m.?
No. Listen to the verbs you used. You said you went to the cafe to purchase a latte, purchase apples, and then you sat down to buy a massive corporate software system. You completely swapped two of the most important verbs in English.
Wait, they're really that different? I thought they were basically the same thing, like interchangeable. They both just mean giving someone money for an item, right?
They're close, but not the same. And that's exactly what we're talking about today, how to use buy and purchase correctly in everyday English.
Okay, I'm interested because honestly, I just throw them in wherever and hope nobody notices. Sometimes I use purchase just because I want to sound fancy and intellectual to the cashier.
Well, today we're going to make it crystal clear. No more guessing.
All right, so what's the big difference? Because they both have something to do with taking action, right? Specifically, taking action with my credit card.
Yes, they both relate to taking action or completing a task involving a transaction. But here's the simplest way to think about it. Buy is used when you're talking about everyday, casual transactions. The focus is on the informal process itself. Purchase is used when you are in a formal, official, or business setting.
So buy is about the casual activity and purchase is about formal, serious business.
Exactly. Purchase usually results in formal paperwork, a contract, or a legal receipt that didn't exist before you started.
I love a good metaphor. Give me a metaphor for this.
Buy is like your everyday beaten-up wallet that you keep in your back pocket to grab a quick snack. Purchase is like a sleek leather briefcase holding a signed contract for a new office building.
The everyday pocket wallet versus the leather briefcase. I love that metaphor. Perfect.
Let's break this down further, starting with buy. I want you to really feel the difference here. When we talk about daily shopping, groceries, or small personal items, we almost always use buy.
Give me some examples. I need to rewire my brain after this morning's mistakes.
Sure. Think about your routine. You buy a cup of coffee, you buy groceries, you buy a movie ticket. These are casual, everyday actions. You aren't drafting a legal document to get that coffee.
Oh, that makes so much sense. So when I said I purchased a latte earlier, that sounded like I was sitting down with the barista and signing a legally binding corporate document to acquire the beverage.
Exactly. Unless you were buying the entire coffee farm and signing business deeds, you were not purchasing a cup of coffee. You were just getting your morning drink, so you buy the coffee.
Wow, okay, that paints a very different picture. If I say I purchased an apple, people might think I'm a fruit import-export executive.
Right. Now, think about general personal interactions. You buy a friend a drink, you buy a birthday present for your sister, you buy a new pair of sneakers. Again, these are personal, informal transactions.
So if my boss gives me $20 to run out and get everyone donuts, I buy the donuts.
Yes, you are performing a casual transaction at the bakery. You aren't drafting a corporate acquisition for the pastries.
Got it. What about bigger things that are still personal, like a TV?
Great question. We often still use buy for personal items, even if they are a bit more expensive, as long as the conversation is casual. You buy a TV for your living room. You buy a new laptop for gaming.
You buy a TV, but isn't a TV kind of expensive? Don't I need the leather briefcase for that?
You might be spending more money, but the conversation with your friend about it is still casual. You would say to me, "Hey, Anna, I just bought a new TV." You wouldn't say, "Greetings, Anna, I recently purchased a new television set." That sounds completely robotic.
Okay, I see. I'm chatting with my friend. I'm keeping it casual. I bought a TV. I bought a laptop. Well, I didn't buy a laptop, but my girlfriend Lily did.
And what about abstract ideas? Did you know we use buy in some common idioms?
We do? Like what?
We use buy when we talk about believing something. If someone tells a crazy lie, you might say, "I don't buy that." Or if you accept a team strategy, you buy into the idea. You can also buy time if you need to delay something.
This is really clicking now. So casual shopping, daily items, personal conversations, and even casual idioms, that is the territory of buy.
Yes, and we also use buy when we speak in general, non-specific terms with friends about shopping. Words like buying things or buying stuff.
Oh, like when I'm bored on a Saturday and I say, I want to go buy some stuff.
Exactly. You wouldn't say, "I want to go purchase items," unless you were reading from a rigid corporate manual. You say, "I want to go buy some stuff." Or if you see a friend looking at a menu, you might ask, "Are you going to buy anything?"
Did you buy anything special for your birthday?
Perfect. He buys everything from that one store. She bought something amazing yesterday. Whenever you use those casual thing words or chat with friends, buy is your best friend.
Okay, my brain relaxed a little. I can feel the tension leaving my forehead. I think I've mastered the art of buy.
Good. Now, before we move on, let me give you a few more examples so the difference really sinks in. Let's shift our focus entirely to purchase.
Right. The sleek leather briefcase and the signed contract.
Exactly. As we established, purchase is for formal, official, or business transactions. The most common area where we use purchase is in corporate or legal settings. You purchase real estate. You purchase business assets. You purchase company software.
Okay. So going back to my morning disaster, I was actually correct when I said I sat down to purchase the multi-million-dollar enterprise software for our office.
You were. That was the one time you used it perfectly today. You were dealing with a massive corporate transaction that involves legal contracts, vendor negotiations, and serious money.
I knew I was a business genius all along. So if I'm at work and I'm ordering 1,000 computers for the new downtown office building, I am purchasing them.
Spot on. You are acting on behalf of a business, acquiring bulk assets. Now, what if you are just grabbing one replacement mouse for your personal desk at home?
Well, that feels a lot smaller and way more casual. I'm probably just using my own debit card on a normal website. I would say I need to buy a new mouse.
Exactly. The scale and formality change the verb. Another major category for purchase is high value, life-changing investments.
Hit me like a private jet because I'm definitely planning to purchase one of those when this English podcast takes off and we go global.
Well, yes, a private jet would definitely qualify, but I also mean more common things like a house or a piece of land. When you are sitting in the bank signing stacks of paperwork for a mortgage, the documents will say you are purchasing the property.
Okay, that makes total sense. It's a huge deal. It requires lawyers, bank tellers, and real estate agents. It's not like buying a turkey sandwich at the deli.
Right. Now, here's a fascinating quirk about English. Often, the verb we use depends entirely on who we are talking to, even if we are talking about the exact same item.
Wait, really? Give me an example of that.
Let's take a car. A car is expensive and requires a contract, right?
Yes, definitely. I had to sign about 50 pages of documents when I got my sedan last year. My hand was cramping.
Okay, so if you are sitting at the dealership and the salesperson is explaining the final contract to you, they will say, upon purchasing this vehicle, you agree to these warranty terms. They use the formal word.
Because it's a legal, professional environment, the leather briefcase.
Exactly. But later that night, you go out to dinner with your best friend. How do you tell him the news?
Oh, I wouldn't say greetings, best friend. I have successfully purchased a motor vehicle. I would just say, dude, I bought a new car today.
Yes, you use buy because the conversation is casual, even though the transaction was formal. The context of your conversation dictates the verb.
Wow, okay, that is a massive light bulb moment for me. So the action itself can be a purchase on paper, but a buy in a text message to my mom.
You nailed it. This is why non-native speakers often sound a bit too stiff or robotic. They learn that a car or a computer is a formal transaction, so they always say, purchase a car, which sounds really weird at a casual weekend barbecue.
I am definitely guilty of that. I try to sound smart and end up sounding like an AI program to do business. We all do it when learning a language. Now let's talk about another massive difference between these two words. It has to do with how they act as nouns.
Nouns? You mean like a person, place, or thing? How can an action word be a thing? Think about the physical piece of paper you get after a transaction, the receipt. Often, purchase is used as a noun to represent the item you acquired or the transaction itself.
Oh, like when the cashier hands me the receipt and the bottom of the paper says, "Thank you for your purchase."
Exactly. Notice it does not say, thank you for your buy.
That would sound terrible. Thank you for your buy. Yuck. I hate that.
It sounds completely unnatural to a native speaker. We use purchase as a noun all the time in formal retail or customer service. You might see a sign in a store window that says, proof of purchase required for all refunds.
Or if I'm trying to return that faulty coffee maker, the customer service rep on the phone will ask, "Sir, do you have the date of purchase?"
Exactly. Or if you acquire something large, you might say, this house was a very expensive purchase. We do sometimes use buy as a noun, but only in extremely casual slang.
Like if I find a vintage denim jacket at a thrift store for $5, I might say, "Wow, what a great buy."
Perfect. A great buy means a good deal or a bargain, but you would never use it on official documentation.
So purchase totally dominates the world of nouns and official paperwork. Let me make sure I've got this.
Let's summarize this section before we test you.
Okay, purchase is for formal business, legal contracts, massive investments like houses or corporate software, and it's the go-to word for official receipts and return policies.
And it changes based on the audience.
Right, the dealership says I purchased the car, but I tell my friends I bought the car. It really all ties back to the environment. Am I wearing a suit or am I wearing sweatpants?
That is a brilliant way to remember it. The suit versus sweatpants rule. If your transaction is wearing a suit, use purchase. If it's wearing sweatpants, use buy.
I think it's really clicking now. The fog has lifted. Can we do some direct comparisons to test me?
Can I practice now? Give me some situations. I want to make sure I am fully ready for the real world.
I'd love to. Let's see how well you absorbed the suit versus sweatpants rule and the differences in formality. Here's your first situation. Your friend is feeling totally overwhelmed and hungry while studying for an exam, and you want to offer them a quick snack from the vending machine down the hall. What do you tell them?
Hmm. Grabbing a snack from a machine is a very casual, everyday activity. I am not asking them to sign a legal contract for potato chips. So I would tell them, don't worry, I'll go buy you a snack.
Perfect. You buy a snack. Now, what if you want to consciously apply that same action, but you are the supply manager for a massive university and you need to get 50 new vending machines for the entire campus?
Oh, that's a bit trickier, but the scale is huge. I am operating on behalf of a business acquiring bulk assets. I am wearing the metaphorical suit. So I would say I need to purchase the vending machines.
Spot on. You purchase the equipment. You are generating a formal transaction and creating a business relationship that requires paperwork. See how they contrast? You buy a snack, but you purchase the machines.
That is a subtle difference, but the suit versus sweatpants metaphor really helps. Okay, hit me with another one.
You're scrolling on your phone on a lazy Sunday, and you accidentally see that a cool video game you wanted is on sale. You click the button to get it. What happened to your credit card?
Well, I definitely didn't draft a legal document. I just clicked a button in my sweatpants. So I performed a casual action. I bought the video game.
Exactly, you bought it. But let's flip it to the perspective of the company. Right after you click the button, an automated email arrives in your inbox from the gaming corporation's billing department. What does the subject line of the email say?
In that case, the company is creating a formal record of the result. They are producing an official receipt. So the email says, "Thank you for your purchase."
Beautiful. You bought the game, but the company thanks you for your purchase. Now imagine you need to go to the electronics store because that game console is broken and you want your money back. You walk up to the cash register. What does the cashier ask you for?
I remember this one from earlier. Initiating a specific return policy interaction requires formal documentation. They are going to ask me for my proof of purchase.
Right. They will never ask you for your proof of buy. Let's try one more. Your boss presents a completely ridiculous new strategy for the marketing team, and you don't think it's going to work at all. What do you say to your coworker at lunch?
I am talking about an abstract idea and I'm speaking casually to a friend. So I say, I just don't buy that strategy.
Excellent. You don't buy it. You're perfectly navigating the nuances now. Okay, let's do our vocabulary review.
Let's go. First, buy for general, everyday, casual transactions. If I am performing a routine shopping trip, getting groceries, or buying a coffee, I use buy. I buy a latte, I buy a movie ticket, I buy a gift for my mom.
Exactly. Buy is the casual pocket wallet. Second, purchase for formal, official, or business transactions. If a legal contract, corporate asset, or massive investment comes into existence, use purchase. You purchase real estate, you purchase business software, and you purchase company vehicles.
Purchase is the formal leather briefcase. Third, buy for casual conversations and abstract idioms. Even if the item is expensive, if I'm chatting with a buddy in sweatpants, I use buy. And if I don't believe a lie, I don't buy it.
Fourth, purchase for official nouns and receipts. You generate a formal document, so it is called a purchase. Customer service will always ask you for your date of purchase or your proof of purchase.
I feel incredibly enlightened. The next time I wake up early, I will confidently say that I bought a coffee, bought some apples, and purchased a massive corporate software system. No more import-export fruit executive mix-ups for me.
Using both in one sentence. Nicely done. All right, that was our deep dive into buy versus purchase. Now, a question for you. Tell us in the comments, what is a small treat you plan to buy this week? And what is a massive dream item you hope to purchase one day?
Use both buy and purchase in your answer. We'd love to see your sentences.
We love reading your answers. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share with a friend who's learning English.
It really helps the channel out, and it helps you stay on track with your daily practice.
We'll see you tomorrow with another easy conversation.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.